Wow, it's a long day already.
We are kicking it live at MGM Grand. I am Gabriel Morency. Countdown to kickoff is on. We're right on the heart of the Strip right now. We're right near Allegiant Stadium as well, and it's starting to get pretty rowdy here.
Just doing this.
It's getting a little lit here.
Oh, is that right?
Can you guys turn off Joe's microphone since he's not on the air with us anymore? Thank you very much. I'm dealing with enough noise as it is, without people talking over us here. All right, so we've got another guest joining us. We got a bunch of people joining us. I hope my boy Clay Harbor can roll in. I ran into Clay. We did the best that we could all week long, but I got to tell you, SportsGrid really kicked some serious ass this week as far as our guests were concerned. All the shows. Pharrell had some great guests on this week. Our boy Tony Finn is in the house as well. We're going to get Tony's best bets. I've been talking. I'm going to start throwing off some of mine here right now because, listen, we're all on the clock here as far as the game is concerned. First half. I do believe the San Francisco 49ers are going to have the lead after the first half. We've seen Shanahan doesn't have a problem winning the first half. He has a problem hanging on as the game goes on. If you want to take the San Francisco 49ers to win the first half and to win the game, it's plus 145. I don't think that's enough value, right? I mean, the money line isn't very much on the football game anyways. So I do think there's value with San Francisco to win the first half and Kansas City to win the game at plus 550. Even though I think San Francisco are going to win the game, you have San Francisco in the first half and you have a little bit of insurance after the fact. But why do I not think the double result is not really a great play? Plus 145 just quite simply is not enough money for them to win the game and win the first half. And the good thing about this is, too, if we take the first half and they win the first half bet, and then they end up losing the game, you can still say, listen, I cashed a ticket with the San Francisco 49ers. All right, speaking of the San Francisco 49ers, we have 49er fan extraordinaire in the house with us.
Hey!
Monica Madrid.
That's right. What's up? Why am I sitting by this helmet? Something's wrong here.
Here, we'll put this one in front of you.
This is bad juju. I got it. I'm saying. I'm already here rearranging your set. What's up, sexy people?
What do we even need this for?
Right. What is it even here for?
But for legal purposes, we need to leave it. But hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Great stuff. So how excited are you?
Very, very excited. So
why don't you tell people about yourself and your podcast and what you do, where women teach and talk of football. Football is sexy.
100%
is the podcast, and you've been kicking some serious ass. You got all kinds of NFL players on the show and all kinds of Niners and stuff. Why don't you tell our audience about your show?
Yeah,
and what you do.
Thank you for the intro. So Football is Sexy is literally where women talk and teach football, right? But we're for everyone, for all teams, but I'm a diehard faithful, of course. We have a podcast, all women talking football. We had Michael Wilbon on, Joe Davis. We've had some incredible women on, and we're the first app to ever teach football. Would you believe that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so now you can download the free app. 10 lessons, trivia questions.
At Football is Sexy.
Yeah, at Football is Sexy on Android and Apple. And
you guys have a ton of followers on Instagram, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're keep climbing. I started with 400, and I think we're close to 40,000 right now.
Good stuff. So, You see, I've always known women in sports. You see, the women's college basketball right now is just booming. The WNBA, the Olympics, etc. But the National Football League for years, basically 50% of their fans were women. No one would really ever acknowledge it. You see it more and more now. I just saw, because of the Taylor Swift effect, that ratings are up 9% with women this year. I don't know if that's all Taylor Swift, but I'm sure it's partially so. But do you notice the growth of the game with women and the sport of football?
I mean,
and flag football, Flag football participation, especially with the Olympics coming up in 2028.
And now it is part of the high school
Yes,
It's part of it's now it's being really looked at as
it's on the
sport.
verge of being an accredited sport.
100%,
Actually, yeah.
100%. And as far as the Swiftie thing goes, we'll never know exactly, but as long as more people, men or women, come to football, I'm all about it, right? Because it's such an amazing sport, as you know. Like, I can't imagine how people aren't football fans. Like, I don't know what it would be like to not be a football fan. But I just love that we're bringing more women. However, I do believe we've always been here.
Yeah.
I just feel like, because I've been a diehard football fan ever since I can remember, and there's women that are,
Well, look, it would have been laughable years ago that there was women referees in the NFL, which there are now.
Well, it's time that we feel seen and heard
And assistant
in the world
coaches
of football.
there are now,
Yeah.
right? So the growth is there. We see the development.
And
there could be more, obviously.
It always can be more, but we're here now, and I think it's only going to get better from here.
All right, so as far as the game itself is concerned, we've had a lot of people that are picking the Kansas City Chiefs, handicappers, former NFL players. Oh, you can't get in front of Patrick Mahomes. That's all we hear all the time. What I said is, no, you can't get in front of Patrick Mahomes' father if you're crossing the street because he's lit up and he might run you over, right? I'm not afraid of getting in front of Patrick. Listen, he hasn't won every Super Bowl he's been in. He's been in 3 of them, and he's won 2 of them. But he is awesome. He's an awesome quarterback. Reed's a great coach, and they do perform. You always
at a
hear
high level.
They really do. Like,
and
people
when they
always
need
say,
it the most.
yeah, people always say, Buffalo could have done this, Baltimore could have done this. Well, KC just find a way all the time. How do you look at this football game, a rematch from 4 years ago?
Yeah. Listen, it's going to be a battle. In order for my boys to win, and they will win, they have to come out strong in the first half. We can't be down 24-7 like we were in Detroit. And I was there at both games, by the way.
Yeah.
Gave me a heart attack, both games. Cried, like it was crazy. We have to come out strong.
What I like, though, sorry, Monica,
Yeah.
I want to say what I like about this is that Brock Purdy and the Niners as a whole showed when our
great.
back's against the wall, we can move the ball and score. They scored 27 points.
Amazing.
And not to mention the drive against the Packers.
Yep.
Purdy showed
Yep.
grace under pressure.
And that's what
I think Purdy's ready for this moment.
That's what I expect to see. I'm hoping that we're going to see a little bit more of a mobile quarterback in Brock Purdy. Because you saw what happened in the fourth quarter against Detroit. You saw him come alive. And I don't know if, I was watching, I was like 10 rows from the field, and, when he dropped back, he was hitting those throws. In the beginning, he really wasn't dropping back. He's not a tall quarterback. So I don't know what that was about. I keep going, I need to talk to Kyle. I need to talk to him. I need to know why he wasn't dropping back in the first half. He's a shorter quarterback. But whatever we did, I'm telling you, by the way, I was there at halftime. And when we were down and Journey came on halftime, it changed everything.
Yeah, I thought it sort of changed the
Oh, don't stop. But, I'm telling you.
It changed it.
It was
Listen,
meant to be.
We're up against it right now. Football is sexy.
Football is sexy.
Check out the app. Monica Madrid in the house. Go Niners.
Go Niners. Woo! Baseball.
Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco anytime touchdown. If they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
That's not a purse or man bag. It's a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
We are kicking it live at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're right down the street from Allegiant Stadium. Beautiful property, beautiful city, beautiful people. Everybody's having a great time. Now there's sort of there's Niner fans are now in the house. They're taking over.
How about that transition?
Yeah,
it was all Chiefs
a few minutes ago. Now it's all Niner fans in the house. So Brady, you were with us earlier in the week here, and it's always a pleasure, my man. How's the week been treating you? Once you get caught up to date with some of your adventures.
Well, I tell you, it really started on Monday, kind of, getting the final thoughts in on the handicaps, starting to look at the prop menu and that type of thing. And then we kicked it off on Wednesday at Radio Row, and that was just awesome. Interviewed about 15 different people, bettors, handicappers, media types, athletes. Got to talk to a guy that we went to the same high school, Aaron Taylor, the guy that played for Notre Dame and the Green Bay Packers.
I didn't know that. You went to the same high school. Big man.
Yeah, so he was great. And then yesterday was really cool. We had the Sports Illustrated Golf Invitational. It was all to support Max Crosby's foundation, and Paige Spiranek was there, Max was there, Adam Kaplan, our COO, was there.
Josh Allen?
No, Josh Allen was not there, but I spoke with Kyle Pitts, and it was a lot of fun out there at TPC Las Vegas. Beautiful golf course out here in Las Vegas, and spent all day there. Just again,
where was Phil playing? Because I was on.
He's at the Las Vegas Country Club. That's where the live event is.
Oh, because I was on with Pat McAfee, and one of Pat's regulars, the guy on the show, is Darius Butler.
Okay,
who's a pretty good golfer, and he played with Phil.
Maybe they had a Pro-Am day or something.
Yeah.
That's at the Las Vegas Country Club.
Right across the street from the Superbook. Yeah,
exactly.
The Westgate.
Exactly. Yeah, so, there's so much going on.
That's where they filmed the movie Casino.
Yes. They even have a plane in the pond out there on number 11 and a little story about how it all went down. It's awesome.
Do they?
They really do. Yeah, and they have a statue of Dean Martin by the first tee. Great stuff.
My great friend Dave Malinsky lived there.
Yes.
And he told me that he goes, I lived right next to the place, he lived in a unit beside where they filmed the movie, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
God bless Dave.
Dave would love this. Yeah, he was a great guy. Really nice guy, but great handicapper, too. Smart guy.
Yeah, no, he was A+ in both regards there. So Wednesday and Thursday just about knocked me out. I got to take a break and catch my breath again today, then down here for one more show, and then, hey, we roll into Saturday. It's almost time to kick off.
And you are a lifelong Niner fan, so what's your plan for the game on Sunday? Where are you going to watch? You going to watch at home? You going to go out to one of the establishments? Do you want to be alone? What's your Super Bowl process like?
I don't like to go to a big party where a lot of people are concerned about the commercials and the halftime show and stuff like that. I want to watch the game. My wife and I, for about the last 5 years in a row, we've been going to this local tavern. It's a public place, but for Super Bowl Sunday, it's an invite party only. They close the doors.
They have the sound on?
Total. Everything going on, squares, giveaways, raffles, and everybody's got a seat like right in front of the TV. You pay a certain fee, and it's all you can eat and drink all day.
I'm the same way, Brady, where there's no way in hell. How you doing? Let's roll. I always have a time. You Niners? We going to the Niners, everyone?
Chiefs?
Oh,
he's a Chiefs fan.
Oh, you got all sides here. Oh, there are Niners in the house. I told you it's tough. I said this a couple of minutes ago. They're both red.
Yeah,
it's hard for us to see with the lights, too. It looks the same.
I saw a guy walking in here, and he had a hat on, and I thought it was a Niners hat, and then I realized it was a Chiefs hat.
Yeah.
So Niners are going in white. Chiefs are going to wear red.
Yes, sir. Exactly. The Chiefs are actually the home team. So I'm the same way, Brady, in which I'm not going to go to a Super Bowl party and watch the game with people that want the commercials or want to have a couple of drinks and talk about their life and, how's work going? And no.
Give me some more of that guacamole.
I don't mind. I love the vibe of being in a sports book, though.
Yeah.
Different.
This is a sports bar.
No, but you're with gamblers and people. Everyone's
all the same mindset.
No one wants to talk to you. They're like, dude, I'm trying to watch. I got my bets here, bro. No, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
totally.
mind. I love the vibe of with people. I guess I don't like normal people, and I only like hanging around with lifelong degenerate gamblers, Brady. I guess that's what I'm saying.
You should come to our place, man. Yeah, so
I'm like, no, I had no way I go to a party, except I'll hang with all these people right here, no problem. Like, yeah.
You're sitting there, you're right in front of the TV at the bar, and you're getting waited on. Can I have another drink? Can I have another sandwich? And they're doing giveaways for the squares and stuff like that. I mean, you're locked in. It's a great time. I like it a lot better than, being by myself or going to a party with,
So what about, though, you're a fan, nothing at all about, man, I'm a Niner fan, I'm going to go to the game?
Nah, it's enough being here this week and all the hustle and bustle. It's great. I'm kind of done with the crowds, I want to just sit down and, have my beer and watch the ball.
You want to get off the strip is what you're saying. You want to go back.
I've been here 30 years. I've seen that strip plenty enough, right?
I was talking to some Niner fans, actually, and I asked them, I said, you guys going to the game? And they said, no, man, we're watching the game. Some of them were watching here. Some of them were talking about going to other spots. And there was a common theme. And they knew the tickets are down to $6,000 right now. But they all said, man, I'd rather go and have a great time and bet on the game.
Yeah.
Dude, you spend $6,000 on the ticket, Brady. You better bet 12 on the game. You're already down 6 dimes.
Exactly. Good point.
just to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the game and your Niners? For the record, I'm kind of in a minority when it comes to people handicapping on our show. We've got a ton of NFL guys, Super Bowl champions. Almost every player is picking Kansas City. I've got San Francisco winning 27-23.
Yeah, I'm like 26-24. I'm nervous, though. I'm telling you. I mean, this ain't no cupcake opponent or cupcake quarterback. And it's been going around all week. Well, I can't bet against Mahomes. I get that. That's real. But I think the Niners are going to get them. They've been the better team all year. I think there's something to the revenge factor, too, Gabe. It was 4 years ago in the Super Bowl that they lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Chiefs in the regular season in 2022. A lot of the same players are on both of these teams. And I think the Niners want to make amends for what has happened the last couple times.
This could almost turn into a new phenomenal rivalry. Although as a Buffalo Bill fan, I'd like to see the Bills crash the party.
Right.
But as you stated, imagine San Francisco win this game. They play again another time, right? And then there's sort of the trilogy. I get the feeling, you look at Coach Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh is a football lifer. His father was a coach in Western Kentucky. Shanahan, football lifer.
Right.
A lot of similarities between them. Yeah, go Blue. A lot of similarities between them. Look at Shanahan and his life. And even with his father, watching his father struggle, get fired by the Raiders. I lived in L.A. when that happened. Then win the Super Bowls with the Broncos. Shanahan being an offensive coordinator with the Falcons, being up 28-3, having a double-digit lead in the Super Bowl 4 years ago against the Kansas City Chiefs, a double-digit lead in the NFC Conference Championship game 2 years ago in Los Angeles against the Rams. I get the feeling that it's Shanahan's time, that Shanahan is finally going to lift that trophy.
And boy, do I want him to do it so, because everything you talked about, and I kind of talked about, some past history and getting revenge. It's all along
Brady,
the same line.
I used Harbaugh because Harbaugh had been through so much through his life and finally
You're
did
spot
it.
on.
Got there.
No, I think absolutely. This is a much bigger deal for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers than it is the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe. And so my heart is certainly rooting that direction. I think there's a good chance they're going to pull it off. 26-24 is and I bet on that exact score, 150-1.
My score is 27-23, is 125-1.
Nice.
But I'm going to take yours as well. At these prices, we could take a bunch.
Yeah,
of
I bet about 3 different numbers. I bet the Niners.
It's like betting golfers, long shots.
There you go.
It's right in your wheelhouse.
I bet the Niners to land exactly on like 29, 26, and 27, and I bet the Chiefs to land on exactly like 22, 23, and 24.
I don't want to scare you because you're a lot smarter than I am. I'm louder, but I've got people keep asking me my scores. I'm like 27, 23, 27, 24, 26, 23.
Yeah.
So we're right in that
like
same
the over?
ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Right.
Just barely.
I hear you.
I think it just barely gets there. All right, Brady's going to be with us. We're going to get more of his props here. And Tony Finn is going to step up and in on the set. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it at MGM Grand. Welcome back to SportsGrid's coverage of Super Bowl 58. This is it. I guess we're the final show. This is the final countdown, actually. Shout out to our crew, Pat Foster and Sam, doing a great job. I'm disappointed. It's too bad. It came up today when I was on McAfee's show about Josh Allen. And Pat even goes, I could have. And I was like, could have, you know what I mean? Could have put me on with Josh Allen, but I'm not. But then I proceeded to call Josh Allen out. And I know he watches the show. So I basically said, I'm tired of seeing Josh Allen at Media Row every year.
Yeah.
Because it means we're not in the Super Bowl. So next year, I don't want to see you walking around Media Row playing in celebrity golf tournaments in New Orleans. We're going to be playing in the goddamn game. So Brady Kannon says the San Francisco 49ers, 26-24. What is 150 to 1?
Yeah.
151 final score, correct score prop. Mine is 27-23. That's 125 to 1. 27-24 for San Francisco is 80 to 1. 27-24 KC is 90 to 1. So I'm not a big hedger. Hedging is for gardeners. I'm not a big hedger, but I don't mind playing these massive correct score props even on both sides. Hey, you bet all this money on San Francisco, but oh my God, KC won 27-24. Oh man, that's right. I bet that scored 125 to 1. Right? You know what I mean?
Super Bowl wasn't so bad after all.
Yeah, like that. It could be a nice savior, Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about some of the props that you're looking at, Mr. Kannon.
Well, I added a couple more that I like today. We talked about it earlier in the week. I like Brock Purdy under on the attempts. I like Elijah Mitchell over 1.5 yards rushing. If he gets the ball, I think he's going to, gain a few yards. He's a really good running back. Let's see. I had yes, there will be a score in the final 2 minutes of the first half. You got to lay a big price on that. I had Christian McCaffrey. His first reception will be under 6.5 yards. But I added a couple today. Kyle Juszczyk over 3.5 yards receiving.
This is a trendy one, and I'm hopping on board with this one, actually. It's basically one catch.
Right,
two catches and 33 yards in the last game.
You can also bet him to have under or over half a catch. Is he going to get a catch or not?
Yeah.
The book I was looking at didn't have that, but they had under or over 3.5 yards.
So let me get you.
Same difference, really.
This is updated from today, actually. All right, Juszczyk, receptions. Play receptions. Not listed on this sheet.
So, pick your poison. Oh, is he going to catch the ball once, or is he going to gain 4 yards? I think if he catches it once, he'll gain at least 4 yards. So
Valdes-Scantling is 1.5. He steps up in big games, this guy.
Yeah.
That's his
had a big catch in the last game.
Yeah, that was his only catch.
Yeah, right. The other one, this is an interesting one, though, Gabe. And you got to give credit here to our mutual friend Adam Chernoff, also up in Canada. And he tipped me on this one. I was listening to him today. And you got to bet this one late. It's on Isaiah Pacheco under his rushing attempts.
Yeah.
Not yardage. I don't necessarily want to go under 67, 68, 70 yards or whatever. But his rushing attempts are up there around 16, 17. It might even get to 18. If you bet it late, I think people are continuing to hammer the over on this particular prop bet.
So you're saying wait it out. So
wait it out, and then I think take the under.
Dude, I love where you're going with this, Brady. I brought it up earlier. It was 16.5, right? It opened up 16.5.
Right, which is more than he averaged throughout the year. Yeah. He's just had a lot in the last couple games because they've been bleeding the clock and they're ahead.
They were up against Miami, and they knew Miami were a bunch of snowmen that couldn't score. They ran the ball.
And they were
the Baltimore
by
game,
injury.
They ran the ball.
Yep.
They had the lead in both those games.
This game's going to be different, I think. I
don't
think the game's
totally
be close.
agree with you. I don't think
could be coming from behind.
I like your angle.
So I'm going to let that number get bumped up by the folks that are arriving tonight, tomorrow, and then I'm going to try and find his highest number I can and bet the under.
So for the record, they didn't have Juszczyk reception, like the over-under 0.5. They have it. It's 3.5 yards, though.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like
it.
It's a very similar bet.
Anything else?
Let's see. I have Christian McCaffrey under 90.5 rushing yards. Now, he could obviously get 100. He could get 125. If that happens, the Niners are probably going to win. But I also think he's obviously a focal point of this Kansas City defense and what they have to stop in order to slow down San Francisco. So he's going to be a huge area of focus no matter if he's catching the ball, rushing the ball, what have you. He might gain 75, 80 yards, score 2 or 3 touchdowns, and win MVP. Yep. He still might not get to 90, though. So I like that bet under his rushing total of, somewhere in the neighborhood of 91 and a half yards.
I just talked about not liking to hedge, but at the same point in time, if he goes over that number, he's going to be the MVP.
Right.
And I actually think he is going to be the MVP. I've got McCaffrey scoring 2 touchdowns and winning the MVP.
I think I'm going to bet on him.
And he could totally 79 rushing yards,
2 or 3 touchdowns,
62 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns type thing.
Yep. He just won Offensive Player of the Year. He's got to be inspired by that. He's got to be pumped up about that. We know he's going to get a bulk of the action out here. There's no tomorrow. They're not going to sit him down. They might give him a breather once or twice, and that's why I kind of like the Elijah Mitchell over 1.5 yards rushing. But no, I'm with you on McCaffrey at 5-1 for MVP, and I also am going to play a long shot for MVP. Every now and then a defensive player wins this thing, right? Von Miller for the Broncos. You get these guys that have huge games. Maybe they get a pick six, a fumble recovery, what have you. At 100-1, I'm going to take a shot with Fred Warner.
Fred Warner, interesting. And you know what? I've actually got a Fred Warner prop that I played. It's 8.5. I played a same game parlay. I didn't want to play the price with McCaffrey and the touchdown prop. So I was like, I'm just going to have some fun with this. I played Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown. Nick Bosa over 1.5 solo tackles.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
And Fred Warner over 8.5
solo or assisted.
And assisted tackles.
I like that one too. I haven't played it yet, but I just might.
Like he's 11, 13, like he's a tackling machine.
This is another one.
And it's a prop that people don't talk about, like defensive tackle props.
I love those props because they're under the radar.
And they're going to be throwing at Kelsey so much. How many times is Warner going to get a piece of Kelsey?
Absolutely. And running backs.
Yeah.
Another one that Chernoff threw out on the other side of the ball, their star linebacker, Nick Bolton, over on his tackles and assists as well. Because, again, the Niners throw to the middle of the field, those crossing routes.
That's one that I didn't hear all week. So, yeah, I'm going to give credit for that. I didn't hear that
9.5, I believe, is the number. But he's going to be busy. He's going to be busy with Christian McCaffrey. The way San Francisco organizes their rushing attack, their zone rushing attack, and then also their receivers crossing the middle, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. I think Nick Bolton's going to be busy. I kind of like that one to go over 9.5.
Let me see what Brock Purdy. How do you feel about Brock Purdy's passing yard prop? Everyone's liking the under of this.
I'm torn on that one, Gabe. I went attempts rather than yardage.
So you bet Brock Purdy under pass attempts.
Right, which was 31.5. And, if the Niners are going to win this game, Brock Purdy's not throwing it 35, 40 times.
Yeah.
Right. So I think ideally they want Purdy to throw it 26, 28 times, complete, 20, 22 balls, 2 or 3 touchdown passes, whatever it is. He could possibly win MVP with that stat line, but I don't think they want him throwing it 35 times.
Brock Purdy's updated passing yard prop right now is 245.5 here at BetMGM. That's just too light. And, a couple of big plays, broken coverage, right?
Sure. And it seems like under's the popular play because everybody's pro Mahomes and anti-Purdy, or the masses are, the majority is. So Purdy could be a good play, contrarian-wise, to take some yeses and some overs.
Well, one of the reasons I like San Francisco is I'm not afraid of Purdy. I think that Purdy's going to be able to play well enough for them to win this football game. What about Brock Purdy rush yards? It opened at 10.5. I got a bad number. I got in at 12.5. BetMGM right now is 12.5, but I saw 13.5s popping up already.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it got to 14.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to stay away from that.
It's the train's left the station on this, hasn't it?
It has, and I don't think you have a bad number. I mean, a couple runs and you're a winner. But you know how it is in sports betting. I hate to be on something that is so popular.
And something that just happened because nobody would have been talking about Brock Purdy.
All of a sudden he's a mobile quarterback.
Because he was running for his life. He took off a couple of times against the Lions, right?
Yep. All of a sudden he's Lamar Jackson. Like, wait a minute. No, he didn't do that throughout the year. I wouldn't mind 12, but 13, 14, I'm going to stay away on that one, Gabe.
Here's one, Brady, that I played. I think I talked about it earlier in the week. And a lot of smart guys that I respect They were impressed with my play about the under 10.5 penalties.
I love that one.
Accepted in the game.
Fantastic, and a great number you got on that one, because I think a lot of shops have 9.5.
Is it 9.5 now? Yeah. Is it here in the sheet here? Let's see. I'm gonna find out.
Well, we talked about this on Tuesday's show. Bill Vinovich.
Oh man, you know Bill Vinovich has called the least pass interference penalties in the NFL since 2018.
Wow, I did not know that, but I know he doesn't call many holding calls either on the offensive line.
There's a reason, Brady, why they picked him for this game.
Yeah, they want to let the kids play, right?
Gene Steratore was on today before me on the McAfee show. Very interesting guest.
Absolutely.
And
Love
obviously done Super Bowls. And he basically said, unless you hit someone over the head with a mallet. No, like he said, he goes, it's the Super Bowl for the refs, too.
Yeah.
Because it's our biggest day of our lives.
That's a great point.
We don't want to screw it up.
Yep.
Right? And they basically sort of like wink, wink. They're going to let him play.
Yeah.
They're going to let him play.
I do hope they call some holding, though,
That
on
it
the
doesn't get
offensive
carried
lines.
away, right?
Right, because
that could hurt our over, Brady. If they're not calling anything, that hurts the offense more.
Well, I don't think so. If they're not calling anything, no punts, no stalled drives.
Yeah, points. Yeah, okay, no, you're saying, but you know what I mean? Let's just say, man,
if they're not calling pass interference, it hurts.
Blatant pass interference, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Vinovich's reputation is for letting pass. That's what Niner fans were angry about after the last Super Bowl, but everybody's angry about something. Brady Kannon, awesome stuff.
Let's do it, man. Go Niners.
Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but
I don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
That's not a purse or man bag. It's a hat bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome back to the MGM Grand. Countdown to kickoff continues. Super Bowl 58. This is it. We're into the home stretch right now. It's been a wild week. We've been broadcasting all week long here from the MGM Grand. And, of course, we've been on Media Row all week long. We've shared a lot of picks with you. We're going to share more before we're done. Tony Finn steps up and joins us. Tony, nice to see you went all out with your wardrobe for Super Bowl weekend. How you doing?
Doing really nicely, especially since you said you'd buy me a new
No, I didn't say I
sweatshirt.
was buying you anything. I sort of assumed you'd show up kind of like, you know.
I was only 15 minutes late, guys, and so I valeted to get in here quickly. And the guy said, "Don't." I said, "Are you here all night?" I said, "No, I'm just here for the show." And he said, "Okay, well, you can pay your valet $100 when you leave." I said, "What?" I said, "Okay."
Well, so you're saying it's costing you money?
No, I'm saying.
Tony Finn's like one of these rich people that he doesn't have to pretend like, you know, he doesn't dress up, or at least that's the hustle here. So Tony is Mr. Kansas City.
No, well, I'm not Mr. Kansas City, but I'm married to Mrs. Kansas City.
So you're married to Mrs. Kansas City.
Right.
You are a Royals fan.
I am.
What about the Chiefs?
Well, I like the Chiefs. I mean, I think it's hard not to like the Chiefs. I've been saying it all week, and people keep saying, but Tony, look at the numbers. Look at you got one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses, and Kansas City's been pedestrian all year. And I said, yeah, well, they have one thing that San Francisco doesn't have. They got this magic man called Mahomes, who's 10-1-1 against the spread as an underdog in his career, et cetera, et cetera. This game's more than stats. You know that. Super Bowls they're more than stats, and the experience matters. It really matters, and I'm not saying that the Chiefs are going to run away and hide in this game, or this is going to be a high-scoring affair. It's going to be a chess match.
But when you say experience matters,
yeah,
the San Francisco 49ers were in the Super Bowl 4 years ago.
Yes, they were, but Purdy wasn't.
No, so
right.
he wasn't.
That's true. And let's be honest.
Shanahan was, so
yes.
McCaffrey wasn't. No, I get it. They're not. Yeah. That's why I haven't spent too much time emphasizing or talking about the game, because to me they're different teams. Yes. Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback of the Niners. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill was the focal point along, with Kelsey, but Hill was the focal point. Bieniemy was there. They're different staffs for you got same head coaches. Mm-hmm. There are some similarities here though, but I understand the experience factor with Purdy, but I don't think that it affects anybody else on the San Francisco 49ers.
No, I wouldn't argue with that. But I will say this: as San Francisco goes, so goes Purdy, or the other way around too. As Purdy goes, so goes San Francisco. It's inevitable the way they run their offense, unless you're going to hand it off to McCaffrey all day long. So
I know, but the thing is, and you're not the only one to say that, right? So that's been a common thing. But what am I missing in this is that San Francisco's offense is better than Kansas City's offense. So like all this talk about all the time, well, Brock Purdy, they score nearly 30 points a game. Yeah. They just scored 27 points in the second half of the game against the Detroit Lions last week. Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs are the ones that can't score. They only score 22 points a game.
Yeah, it's funny because I really don't think that's the anchor to this. What wins? Offense isn't going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be the best defense that wins the Super Bowl.
The higher ranked defense generally does win the Super Bowl when they go head to head.
And right now, season long, at least the metrics and the math says, hey, for the whole season, San Francisco's better. However, since they lost to the Ravens, if you look at the numbers of the San Francisco defense, including the 2 playoff games, they've regressed, and they're not the best defense, at least in form.
No, I can't argue with that. Yeah. But another thing, to play devil's advocate, though, I hear this a lot. People, San Francisco aren't the same team. They didn't play well over the last month of the season, or they didn't play the same, and then how they played the playoffs. What happened so everyone keeps talking about how San Francisco lost to Baltimore, right, on Christmas Day.
Yes.
What did the Kansas City Chiefs do that day?
They got crushed by, I think, the Raiders.
Yeah, they got crushed by the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Right? Is that true? Yeah. Funny how, San Francisco, their losses mattered, but the Chiefs lost, that's different. Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't even be here now if the Buffalo Bills weren't a bunch of choking-ass bitches. Let's just call it out for what it is.
And we'll say this.
And I'm a Bills fan. That's why I'm allowed to say that.
And San Francisco wouldn't be here if Detroit didn't choke it away either.
No, that's not true. They didn't choke it. San Francisco came back and won it.
Yeah,
they scored 27 points in the second half. That's not choking.
No, you're right. I mean, look, but I'll say this. The Ravens, what the Chiefs did to the Ravens was surprising to me. Did it not surprise you?
See, Niner fans taking over now. Here we go, baby. Niners in the house. No one cares about KC here, Tony. It's Niner country now.
People are going to start throwing
they're
stuff.
Over here, they're over there, they're everywhere.
They're going to start throwing stuff.
Hey, let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Hey, the people have spoken. The people have said, he thinks Kansas City.
It's the end all.
Boo!
I would say the Chihuahuas, but you can barely read it. I'd say the team that wins the Super Bowl will be the team that runs the ball as well. The better team will be. The winning team will be the team that
does. He's been known to do that. Yeah.
Not yet, but I'm going to be drinking very soon.
Hey, so have you guys, though. So Niner fans are saying this guy, he must be drinking. That's why he's picking the Chiefs. I never met a Niner fan that doesn't drink before. I tell you that. You're right about establishing the ground.
Absolutely.
Both teams want to do it.
Yeah.
Who has the better running back?
Well, that's stalwart.
Christian McCaffrey's better than Pacheco is.
Absolutely.
And Pacheco's good.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I think you're going to see. Listen, you're going to see a lot of things different. The Chiefs, first off, without their left guard, and listen,
Tooney's out.
Listen, early in possessions, you'll see the Chiefs run. They run between the guards. They run between the guards. They're not going to do that. You're going to see them run on edge. In fact, they benefit from that. They're going to run on the edge, and San Francisco gives them more yards on the edge. So.
We were just talking with Brady Kannon. He said he liked Pacheco's under rushing yard attempts. It's getting pretty trendy, and it could go up. It would open up at 16.5, right?
Yeah.
Let's check out the updated number right now.
I will say this.
How many attempts do you think he's going to have?
Well, he hadn't had anything less than 15. So I think his attempts were 16.5, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this.
Yeah, but they had the lead in 2 of the 3 games.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
3 of the games. Even had a lead on the Bills, actually, at one point, too, yeah.
Here's what happens is I've been really pimping the yardage. I thought Pacheco, I liked his over in the yards. However, with Tooney out, this is what happens when you run off the edge. You can pop some big ones, but you have a lot more negative runs. You have a negative one.
For loss.
Absolutely right. So that concerns me if you're on the over.
So do you like the over, the under the game? You like Kansas City to win the game, but
yeah.
What about the total?
Well, I lean to the under, but it's just difficult for me to get there when I do all the math.
It's a very good, it's a perfect number they set, the 47.5, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Like even Teddy asked me how do we get there? I said, you know what? I think there's 5 touchdowns in the game.
Yeah.
And 4 field goals.
Really?
That adds up to 47. I still think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than that. So let's say, you know what? I'm going to say that. 6 touchdowns and 4 field goals.
Yeah. Riddle me this.
Which gets us to 49.
Riddle me this. What we have is this. You got Kansas City. Their over-under is 21.5 in this game. That's their team total.
Oh, sorry, 55. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
My math was off. Sorry, Tony. Go on.
Okay, 21.5. 21.5 over-under for the Chiefs. 20.5 for San Francisco.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense either. But what I'm trying to say is this. The Chiefs went in 20 games, including the playoffs. They went over 20. They scored 22 or more 9 times out of 20. 45%.
Well, I got a bet in, and a prop that I like is will both teams score 20 or more points?
Right.
And I said yes, that they will.
Now, so how many times did they go under? They went under 11, right? 11 of the 20. Now, here's the deal. Of the 5 teams the Chiefs played, 5 teams that were they qualified for the playoffs, 5 of them this year. How many of those teams did the Chiefs score more than or 22 or more against? Not one. Not one team. 0-5. So the 0-5 the under.
And the big reason why a lot of people are scared of the total of this game is due to the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs they're 19-1 to the under in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
they're 18-2 to the under in the second half.
Yep, they're tempo.
Spagnuolo has been a brilliant tactician.
Yes, he has.
The Kansas City Chiefs defense is why they're playing in this game.
Yes.
All the talk about Kelsey and all the talk about Mahomes all the time. Chris Jones is like the badass on that team. And the Mississippi State guys, Gay, and you got Snead, you got Jones, Karlaftis out of Purdue.
Yeah.
When you're on a team with a dude who's dating Taylor Swift, you're not going to get any love. But the defense, Chris Jones specifically, the guy's amazing. It really is.
He's an animal. He is. He absolutely is. In fact, you got to love Chris Jones getting both those $1 million bonuses too. They let him get that sack in week.
This could be his last game with them. Actually.
Could be, but
he even brought that up.
He says he don't want to play for anybody else. He wants to retire a Chief. But they all say that, right? When they're just got a contract. But you're right. How about the San Francisco? How about Warner? How about the fact that Mahomes, that Warner and his partner in the middle there,
Fred Warner, we talked about it. I like his prop over 8.5 tackles and
so. And the fact is, you can't throw over the middle. Not in the second level against these two linebackers.
So listen, we only got about a minute and a half before the break. What are some of the props you like?
Real quickly, I like under 25.5 completions for Mahomes, mostly because he's not going to be able to hit. He's not going to be able to go over the middle and dink and dunk to
Interesting. Everyone's always picking on Purdy. You say under 25.5 completions for Patrick Mahomes. All right.
Under. And I like the kickoff. There won't be any return more than 27.5 yards. I think inside 2,000 feet elevation is where we're at. You're going to see a lot of touchbacks. I think the concern would be Moody. He's only 60% to 80% for butt kicker. And but I like that as well. I like the fact that I don't think Kelsey gets his yards. I don't think Rich. I don't think the Chiefs, any of the receivers, meet their yards. I like under almost in everything, and so that's why I've been kind of waiting. You and I both know that if you're going to be an under player in props, if you're going to be an overplayer, you play him early. If you're going to be an underplayer, you play him late.
You're going pretty contrarian here, though, if you like Kansas City, but you think that a lot of their guys are going under.
I like San Francisco's under as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward here. All right, here we go.
Sure.
Boom. Kickoffs. So basically, will the kickoff be returned or not? The opening kickoff.
20.
Dude, the number is so big right now, you almost just have to say, you know what? Yeah, there's going to be a return and hope for the best that someone comes up short.
Yeah.
Listen, the ball, they use a new ball. The Super Bowl, it's a special ball that they kick off with because they put it in the Hall of Fame after.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like harder.
That's true.
So it's a harder ball, and kickers aren't used to kicking with this ball. So in the past, in the Super Bowl, will the opening kickoff be returned or not was a good bet to the yes. Another thing is, if you're a kickoff returner, you're a special teams guy. You're in the Super Bowl. This is your shot, baby. Like, this is it. I'm only going to get the ball now. Now, like Devin had, this is my time to shine now. So if a guy is able to return it, he will. And it's like minus 300 that it's going to be a touchback.
Although if you return a Chiefs ball that Andy Reid said if it's in the end zone you don't return it, and you return it, you have to be concerned you're going to get eaten by Andy Reid.
Here, where is it here? It's too dark. It's too dark in here. I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have bad eyesight.
What are you looking at?
I was looking, actually, I want to get the kickoff prop. All right, we're going to wrap up on the other side, live from MGM. Bring it. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He doesn't run well. The Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I don't.
You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
That's
around.
not a purse or man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency, and we are now officially on the clock. Countdown to kickoff is on. It's time for our best bets, baby. Let's do this thing. Let's start off with the first play of the game. The first offensive play of the game is going to be a rush attempt. Nobody's going to want to do anything stupid to start off the game. 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, the first offensive play of the game has been a rush attempt. Will the team that scores first win the game? No. Kansas City's going to score first. San Francisco's going to win the game. Will there be a touchdown or a field goal as the first score? First score of the game, field goal, plus 145. First touchdown score of the game. The other tight end, George Kittle, 10-1. Travis Kelce's going to light it up. He's going to do his thing. Give me Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions. Give me Travis Kelce to score a touchdown as well. We talked about the San Francisco 49ers and Shanahan. They're a very good first half team. Never mind the last playoff games. Look at the Super Bowl with the Falcons up 28-3. Super Bowl against the Chiefs, they had a double-digit lead. The San Francisco 49ers they're going to want to get a lead in the first half and try to make Mahomes come back on them instead of Purdy coming back. Give me the San Francisco 49ers to win the first half. Total penalties in this game. Over under 10.5 accepted penalties. We're going under. Bill Vinovich is the referee. He was the same referee 4 years ago when these two teams played. He called 9 penalties. San Francisco only had 3 penalties in their last game. Kansas City only had 3 penalties in their last game. We're going to go under 10.5 accepted penalties in this football game. First San Francisco Giant to record a reception, Christian McCaffrey, plus 275. First Chief to record a reception in the football game, Travis Kelce, plus 175. Final score of this football game, 27-23. The Vince Lombardi Trophy is going back to the Bay, baby. San Francisco win Super Bowl 58. That is 125-1. 27-23. Play 26-23. Play 27-24. Have a great time. Enjoy the game. Get lit up. And may the winners be yours. Other than that, you're on your own. Later from Vegas.